like castles made of cracks and seams, drywall crumbling like my broken schemes. Punching drywall, oh, I'm punching drywall. My dreams in tatters as the plaster falls. Punching drywall, fists through the lies. The vintage market's where my hope dies. They said the market's booming, grab it quick. Now I'm drowning in cardboard and bad statistics. My knuckles bleed, but the pain's a fix. A hole in the wall feels better than this. Who knew a swing and a miss could sound just like this? Punching drywall, oh, I'm punching drywall. My dreams in tatters as the plaster falls. Punching drywall, fists through the lies. The vintage market's where my hope dies. Signed by legends or ghosts unseen. These cards once glittered, now just I've seen. A shrine to nostalgia, but it's all a ruse.
That is right. Drywall, punching drywalls because my cards are not what they seem. Yeah, friend of ours, a friend of the show, friend of the community made that. I'll let him present it if he wants to. He shared it with us. You'll probably hear it on some other channels. I just wanted to start the show out with that tonight. Again, sorry I wasn't feeling up to it last week. Just sometimes you just need to take a break, step back, refocus on life, just things. And, again, wasn't feeling it. That's it. Short answer. I don't know if anybody's going to be joining me tonight or not. I sent out couple of things, but no biggie. Have all of y'all on the side here, me, and if anybody shows up, it'll be a plus. Some things have come some things I have been talking about. A lot of stuff that's been coming up here lately is kind of what I center my whole channel around here since COVID, right? If you're new to my channel, I talk a lot about value shopping. It's not, no more you can zig and zag when they zig, because once something becomes popular, everybody's going to catch up to you. And unless you're selling, I don't know. But what you need to do is just find where your niche is. There, so many levels to this thing. And the guy from where this all coming from today is the Upper Deck CEO, whatever you do that runs it, coming out and saying, there's boxes being outpriced. Well, just because he doesn't have $1,000 price, he does have $500 boxes, right? I think some of his stuff's overpriced. He did come out when Bedard and those came out, his boxes were higher than normal. Series 2 with Bedard was higher than Series 1 by quite a bit. So much so I didn't buy a box. And then when people found out the secret card in the first one, those boxes went up quick too. So I mean, he can talk all he wants, but he's doing the same thing. He just doesn't have the same price leveling as Fanatics or Panini does, and they have their own issues too. You know, I'm just glad that the love for this hobby is where it's at. Anybody that loves their sounds like you're one step away from collecting Braves exclusively. Yeah. What's up, Jeff? I just feel like, because all this happened, I was like, his stuff isn't the cheapest. I mean, all the boxes are way too much. We've talked about this before. It's become a breakers. I mean, it's so much breakers where Fanatics just don't even hide it. They just make breaker delights for breakers and then sell them at this ridiculous prices to the community. Basically one pack, one jumbo pack, or maybe 2 packs for ridiculous pricing. But people buy it. I guess it's if you're a seller, it might be worth it to get that because it's more. It takes away a lot of. I don't even know if you get base cards in that. But yeah, he was talking about that, and it just made me think. Like, yeah, people have to figure out really quick, like where their pricing is. I mean, some people don't mind paying that and still have fun opening up boxes, whatever their price point is. I have a lot of stuff back here because I feel like retail I'm comfortable paying at SRP, right? And I'm having fun with it, especially Fanatics products. Fanatics really has figured out, I think, for the retail side, made it happy. It took them a year or so, but I think Fanatics has got it figured out where they're putting bang for your buck. They went up $5-10, boom, and but they're giving you a little. They took away cards, but the inserts are a little bit better color. I think Hobby Chrome way overpriced. Especially when you're talking about the buybacks for, you might even have the AL MVP in the buybacks, unless they put him in update and they buy back the update. I don't know. We don't know what's going on in the update, much less update Chrome. We don't know anything about Heritage, High Number. They said they were coming out with Alan the Ginter and some of these other products. We haven't seen it. Were they all going to be underneath the Christmas trees? I don't know. I haven't had a Christmas tree in my place in 20 years. So I guess I won't get one. But, I feel like, when it comes to that part of Fanatics, they've really dropped the ball. I thought they were doing a good job of releasing. But now we don't have no rhyme or reason. We nothing telling us, hey, we're going to be looking for this. Has anybody heard about update being pushed? I know it's got pushed back, and it's a lot of weird stuff going on with that. Panini, I bought a little tin of that Don Ross football today, just because I heard they were the best, odds pulling some stuff. So I just for funsies, I picked up a tin of that today at Walmart. I didn't really pick up anything. A little bit. I did get a blaster of Artifact hockey. I opened that. Really didn't hit anything. What's up, Joe? Thank you for my pronunciation. I just destroyed names. But yeah, so I did, I'm having fun with the Disney. I'm having, I wish I could find Scooby-Doo. They have blasters of that from my understanding. I just can't find them in the wild. I still need quite a bit of that to complete the set. Kind of got stopped at and been really working on my finishing my Mets tops base set. I've almost completed. I'm in the 2000s now, so I should have that done. I could have it done today if I really wanted to, but I'm using Sport Lots and spending like $5 to $10 and getting the biggest price on there is right now is everything is shipping, man. I go on eBay and I make sure, again, value. I'm buying a dollar card. I don't want to pay $5 to get it shipped. The dollar, whatever is where it's at for that. But, when I start paying a little bit more, I don't mind it. What's $5 more at that point? But yeah, I feel like at a value cost right now, shipping for anything it's crazy. Mike Fabian was bringing it up in our group chat, East Connecticut Sports Cards, who I guess he made it official. He is a vendor now, which congratulations. He shared that with us at the National, and been sharing his road on that. It's been fun watching him figure things out and listening to how he's talking through things. I have been thinking about there is a place that has a tables or display cases. The smallest one's $145 a month. I just don't know if it's worth it for me to do that. I think it'd be better for me to suck it up and just do a show or two at 50 cents a card and just blow through what I need to blow through and just get it over with. Because it's kind of right now, I mean, Sport Lights, I'm getting, again, I got rid of 200 cards. I bought 4. But man, the complaints over $1 card or 50-cent card, or I had 20-cent card and they said I didn't have it correctly. I think it had a near mint to excellent, and the person said it wasn't near. I just gave them the money back. And what's up, Paul? And I just thought, it's starting to get to me a little bit because it's just for funds for me, fun time. And I have a real job. This is just, something to get rid of stuff, help people get stuff in their collections, or to help flippers, help people fill their boxes. I haven't had anybody buy a big bulk lot from me in a while. That was happening quite a bit, and when that stopped, it kind of got 1 or 2 sales here and there. Just kind of eats up my time, so I don't know if it's really turning out to be worth it or not, even though I did pick up 4 good cards. I can't wait to get those to show y'all. 1 auto, I think 2 autographs, and a couple of Johnny Benches I didn't have. One was a Hostess Cupcakes that I didn't have. I love my Hostess. But again, that's the value. I am figuring out ways to, extend my money more and more. I think we're talking about this with things going up in prices for whatever reason. We have to be smarter. If we want to have fun, still have fun in the hobby, but have, food on the table, we really got to, be smarter with our money. Some people just don't have to worry about it, and I'm happy they're in that place. I don't have to worry about it, but I can't do dumb things either. I'm more looking when I go to a show. I don't know, like I just didn't go to any. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't gone. Even when I don't have a show, I have places to go hunting, antique malls, consolidation places. Uh, Go an hour away to a card shop. I just don't feel like doing that right now. I just don't feel like spending the money for gas. I don't feel like spending the money on buying cards. I can just sit here and have fun buying I limit myself what I spend on here on a daily basis. So I have a couple of bids out for bigger cards, and if I get those, that would probably one is thank you, Mike O, for pointing out to David Wright. If I get that one, that'll probably shut me down for next paycheck for pretty much everything. And I have a one out for a Pete Alonso, which is not that expensive, but still, it's a low number. 2025 holiday card, I believe it is. So, which I have a lot of that to open as well. The holiday stuff is fun. I did today pick up my first big Amish out of the holiday. I believe that is his first pack pulled rookie card. They have him in living set this week. Living set, so I picked that card up as well. But I believe the holiday is his first pack pulled rookie card. I'm looking for some more big things from him, man. Him, Jack Wilson. I think that A's team is going to be fun to watch. Of course, they need some parts. I was let know. I think today we got 143 days away from pitchers and catchers. So something to look forward to if you're counting along at home. Let's see what else. Panini selling, and people talk about. I don't know why Fanatics would buy them. I don't know what the need is. They got tops. They don't need downtown, uptown, around the town. They have the same versions of that in tops. The people new to the hobby in the last few years that are really used to the Panini stuff, they'll get over it. They'll get used to it. I mean, people that were around like the rest of us, a lot of us was here when Tops, lost to Panini. And, I still did football for a while, but football to me, I've talked about it before. I am not a quarterback guy. I am not. I don't, it's hard for me to really like quarterbacks. They're not my favorite players usually. Roger Staubach has been like one of my favorites. I'm trying to think. I really like the kid from Washington who's about to play here in a few minutes. I love watching him, but I don't think he's my favorite. I don't even know right now if I have a favorite football player, even on my Cowboys. I thought Micah could be that guy for me when he came in the league, but I lost interest in him. Doesn't Panini have assets for producing cards that is printing them? Doesn't Panini have assets for producing cards that is printing them? I don't think Panini has any way. I think that's part of the problem with their printing is Fanatics has a printer. They own a printing shop. I don't think Panini does. I think they use Italy a lot, which sucks. They're usually not good at printing. The only assets that I can see is like foreign entities, like what's F1 racing, some of those soccer leagues over there. I just don't see why Topps needs those, right? I don't. I don't I don't see any need for Fanatics to purchase that. I mean, they're not threatening them. I really think they bought. Um, I think I think they. I really think that I'm trying to get my words straight here before I start talking here. That uh, PSA uh, collectors bought SGC because Fanatics was going to buy SGC. The writing was there. It was right there. They wanted they wanted all in one shop. Make cards, have them maybe even do a thing where you can buy a card encased already in an SGC holder. You could just see the writing on the wall that they wanted a, a grading company. And I think that scared the piss out of collectors because Fanatics money could really back that up. And I mean, I was looking at what the gym rate or whatever for last month, whatever they call it, not gym rate, but whatever, how many people doing what, and SGC's really falling off. And I find that just weird because, well, first off, by far TCG grading is past sports grading, so that's part of it. TCG just doesn't have any pull in the SGC world. CGC does actually pretty well with TCG or non-sport. So they are number 2 with what I was looking. And Beckett has moved past SGC, which, I just feel like that's what PSA wants. I think PSA is doing everything they can to sour the taste of us with SGC. So when they finally take them off the board, nobody's going to care. Everybody's done started going to PSA or whatever. That few 100,000 PSA they're going to come back to us eventually when they get tired of the other ones. When CGC doesn't sell and Beckett does something Beckett does. So wait and see. And but with Panini, I don't see where Fanatics is gaining anything by buying Panini. They've already won, and buying them doesn't do anything. The worst thing WWE did in the Monday Night Wars was buy WCW. There was no reason to do that. All they did was throw money away. Had about a year of a kind of a rough run trying to use that 2, 3, and then they bought ECW. It sounded good. It just didn't work well. And I don't see where it really helps. Other than if Fanatics wants to get a foothold in the foreign market even more than they already have. I don't know why. Topps is already in Asia. They're already in Europe. Panini has Italy, parts of Asia, I guess. But I just don't see. But who am I? I'm just a guy sitting here talking. Hopefully somebody's listening out there, but just chatting away. And let's see. I mean, going back to, and that's all I got to say on that. I thought that was pretty. When I saw it was up for sale, what's going on? Red light. Okay. When I heard Panini was going up for sale, it didn't surprise me. I don't see what the what they have, but with the guy from Upper Deck, really brought out everybody talking about value and buying stuff and the repacks and all this stuff. You know, that was the most intriguing thing to me is, was the repack talk. What's up, Chris? The repack talk and how that was gambling or more gambling than buying packs. I was like, well, most of the repacks now give you a chase, whatever the chase is. It's no different than giving the odds for on the packs or when you look them up online. And actually, they kind of tell you, we repacked 40 packs, and this is probably 1 through 40 what each one's going to have. Of course, you don't know which one's off the board, but it's no different. I did find that surprised that he was talking about that, and for whatever reason was wanting that to be, like I said, repack in one way or another has been around for Jesus, I don't know how long. As long as I can remember. Just now it's become a big deal because influencers online are talking about this. And, a few years ago, talking about influencers in our community, when I went to that national and they had Gary Vee, I didn't know who Gary Vee was. And I'm online a lot. I'm on social media a lot, and I didn't know who Gary Vee was. That tells you how much I miss that. I don't really listen. I guess I listen to other influencers outside of the sports card realm, and I don't want to. I'm already kind of set in my ways. I listen to my friends. I see what people are buying out there. But I don't really listen to the talking heads to tell me what I should be buying, and, who I should be buying and how many pieces I should own of a player or all that stuff. I don't listen to that. So I guess when I miss these influencers, because it was a while like we have influencers. I just thought it was people that had high viewership for our community. But now I'm not as naive as I was 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Because I am very naive. I missed the whole modern versus vintage. I had to have that pointed out to me. There's things that I just miss because first I try to think well of everyone. And I think a lot of it is just, we want to have conversation, start a conversation. So I do understand that. But when it comes to these influencers talking of, and I want to get back where it was started, what I was talking about, the influencers talking about these repacks. I don't know. Is that what's making the repacks people really talking about them because people are opening them up on their channels, or even influencers have theirs, or the bigger channels have repack. This is the other thing I don't understand is some of the breaking channels have repacks or they sell cards. Where the hell are you getting these cards from? Like, aren't they selling spots are they buying back cards? Are they offering them? Where are the cards coming from that breakers have? Do they open up their own cases? Which is possible. I wish it was more knowledge out there for what the breakers get. These guys on Whatnot and the guys on Fanatics that do a lot of breaking, the big boys. How much do they pay for a box? What is their, when they are selling, people are bidding spots or buying spots that, ridiculous prices for cards. Like I said, I'm a P. Alonso guy. I'm looking at, sometimes P. Alonso is like $500 for a case. And I'm just like, for what? what are you expecting to get? I mean, his autos shouldn't go for more than 150. I don't care what the number is on the card. I guess if it's a low number print, it's going to go for 400. But then you got to hit one of them. The chances are very slim. I don't. When I watch these, I wish it was just more open about, what is going on out there. Because going back to the upper deck dude talking, yes, some of this higher stuff, things I used to really enjoy, tier one, museum, I would save my money and not buy. I would just get maybe a box of hobby or jumbo of hobby, but I would save up to get museum and triple threads and all that stuff, because that stuff fun to rip. Beautiful cards, nice autos. Most of it was on card. Now they're stickered now because it's just so easy to just get them to rip off a page of stickers and just sign them all and give them back to them, which I understand. And a lot of times, if the card looks nice and it makes it, I don't get too hung up in the stickers. Now, if the stickers look bad, then I get hung up in it. But I'm not one that, because I want the auto on card or on a sticker or a cut auto. Sometimes I have plenty of cut autos from Gary Carter. I don't really need any more of those unless it's just they're cheapies to get. So I have them. If I get another one, so I don't want any more, but I'll probably pick up. If they're there, I get them. So it's all about what you can afford, your affordability, staying within it. And it's just like anything you do, you should be planning out, okay, here's my budget for my house. Here's my budget for, for X, Y, and Z. I got Christmas coming up. I have holidays. I have birthdays. I have this stuff. So you should know what your spending is. And you might have to go a few weeks without buying a card. Just put a few dollars away to get a card later. Maybe you can double up later. But, just always be mindful about, that. Because I've always talked about it. I hate those stories when I hear like, I got to pay off my credit card before I can do anything else. Or, yeah, we all do dumb things. I think we've all purchased stuff on our credit cards and we just pay it off or whatever. But, we don't want to get crazy with that, especially this time of year. And we don't know what the future is going to hold here coming up, which has me a little stressed out a little bit myself, being single. My apartment lease is up in April, and I am moving. I found a few places, but I have to wait. Hopefully they're still there, and at the price. Apartment prices have come down a little bit, and they're more open out there. I was having the hardest time. There's so many. You might think you have a lot of colleges where you're at. I have a lot of colleges where I'm at. Winston-Salem, I could name probably 6 right now. And it's crazy. Every town has a college, at least one. You get over to Greensboro and the High Point area, there's colleges everywhere. Like I say, Winston-Salem, I'm only 25 minutes from Greensboro from here. In traffic, so there is a lot of colleges around here. I mean, I got Wake Forest is right across on the other side of town from me. I have Winston-Salem State, which what's his face, that ESPN guy with the school there, likes to run his mouth a lot about Philly stuff. Stephen A. Smith. I went blank there for a minute. A lot of colleges. Man, the Seahawks are just hit the seams right down the morning. Well, Washington has a very good defense, but I hope everybody enjoyed the baseball. Was this World Series not one of the greatest ever? I knew it would be. A team loaded with talent, and then a team that was very disciplined with Toronto. Toronto did lose some men on base, but you got to give it to the Dodgers. The Dodgers made them leave them on base, and great World Series. I was hoping Donnie would get his ring, but I think that Toronto is going to be in the hunt again next year. I love the fact, man, they came to Game 7, all hands on deck. Every pitcher was up in the bullpen. It was, every man was there for both teams, and it was just great to see that. And they played baseball. It wasn't just home run derby. I loved it. It was a fantastic World Series, a terrific put. Yes, Brian. It was. I thought this was is Mattingly a dark horse for Braves manager? Is he a dark horse for any manager spot? Really, you would think they would all have him on their board, right? He did well with the Dodgers. They just thought he should have won the World Series, right? Then he went to the Marlins and took a Marlins team and took them to the playoffs one year, right? And then they weren't that good. Now, is he a younger manager? Because it seems like that's like the Nationals want the young manager. It seems to be the trend, kind of like what they did in football, like going to late 30s to 40-somethings. And I see the guy from Tennessee. My dad told me the guy from Tennessee manager, which is in his 40s, got the Giants, I think. So the Giants they do that stuff anyway. That was a gut punch loss for Toronto. It was, but I tell you what, they did that same. Seattle, same thing. And man, the Seattle players were not. I played it on my baseball talk. They were upset. They were upset for a bunch of millionaires. Well, has Kyle Riley got his bag yet? He's got to have. Is he due? Is he in his first 4 years contract, or did he already redo his? J-Rod, they redid his. So that team, you will have some teams that had a taste this year. A lot of young talent, and that Toronto team. Few second generation players, they know how it is, and I just love the fact that how hard they played. Now Jimenez leaving us 40, yeah. See, it's not new, but it's just like they're getting these younger. They're not getting the old guys with the red man in their jaw sitting there, sitting in the corner, have seen more baseball than anybody has ever played, and they just know, they've already seen it. They ain't gonna see something new. But hey, young blood in there. Let's see what they do. And Sam Darnold's going to just knife these boys up to them for the Redskins. But we'll talk. Me and my dad will talk more about that tomorrow. Please tune in or come by, chat us up. Jeff's been great coming in with questions. Stomp my dad, man. Give him some something to make him. You you would have a fun time. You get him the ostrich where he starts rocking back and forth and stuff. He loves that shit. Um, Me too. I love talking baseball. I love talking sports, but I love talking baseball the most. Uh, that's my, you know, that's my love, and that's why I love what Toronto did this year. I've never been a Toronto. I'm not a. I'm not. I'm actually one way or the other with Toronto. The only time I really, was when they played the Phillies back in '93. Sorry, Ed, and you know, I just they've always been. Uh, uh, yeah, they play in that dome, artificial turf. I just been neither here nor there with them. Now the Mariners, on the other hand, that's a franchise that really deserves. They got a great fandom, and I think I hate to say deserve because you gotta get there, but it'd be great to see them in the World Series. Just at least get there. I mean, hell, we've got Tampa and fucking New Orleans been in there. So here's another thing I wanted to touch on tonight. That's what I was kind of hoping Mike would be in here tonight because he likes to talk about this stuff too. So we had the World Series. Did we see a crazy price hike in people in the World Series? I know I sold it to Tiny, but I sold it for less than what I was asking for it. It was still good money, but I don't know. Has it been crazy out there for anybody that has a lot of cards out there? Selling them. I know overall, I don't think it really helped, but I was just wondering, the players that were in the playoffs, I'm sure. I mean, people are gonna buy Ohtani regardless. He's just so good. But I mean, Vlad Daddy, is his cards going up? Old Vlad baby, Guerrero. I mean, who won? I didn't see. I went to sleep. I was exhausted. Who won the MVP for the World Series? Was it Yamamoto or Ohtani? Ohtani has like one or two. He had. I mean, the one game where he's on base 9 times. That's ridiculous. But other than that, I don't know what else he did. When you say correct, did Yamamoto win the MVP? Yamamoto, awesome guy, awesome pitcher. And after he pitches the game, he cleans up the dugout. I talk about that all the time because that is just I don't know. What is that? Is that that's why I am not a Dodger organization fan because my age, right? They're like the Yankees for me. I've seen them play so much in the 70s and 80s. They were always in. It felt like battling for the World Series. Those teams they had with Garvey and Say and that bunch, man. They were just so good. They were always battling, right, or playing the Yankees in the World Series. I just got tired of it. And also, it's just I lived out there for a little while. I lived in Cali and SoCal. It was the monkey rally monkey for the Angels. I got so tired because those people didn't know nothing other than the Angels, right? That's all they knew. So it got kind of tiresome. So they're the same way with the Dodgers. And I'm not saying they're not good fans out there. They really love their winners. But if they're not winning, they just don't care. There's so much going on out there. It's like Miami. But the players, I mean, how can you get mad at Ohtani winning and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and, Yamamoto and their closer? And I think Will Smith is one of the most underrated catchers or ball players in all of the league. I think yeah, I get it. When I was saying it, I was like, there's going to be people out there that just hate him. And I feel for y'all, Carlos, Toronto. It's just, I mean, it's so long since you've been there in that city. Really loves their sports. And, but man, y'all will be back next year. I don't know about World Series, but you're going to be back in the playoffs or the hunt. It's too bad you play in the American League East, where so much money and those teams can get good fast. We saw what happened to Baltimore. They were right there, and then they fell off. But at the end of the year, they started playing really good. So, let's see what they got next year. Get 6 consecutive seasons that Will Smith has won a World Series. 6 consecutive seasons that Will Smith has won a World Series. Really? Oh, was there a Will Smith? Will Smith, the reliever, was on the other teams. Is that who it was? Who's Will Smith? I know Will Smith's a pitcher too, but Will Smith, the catcher. That's what I was saying. The catcher, Will Smith. Yeah, Will Smith, the catcher. I feel like he gets forgot, even though he was on Team USA in the last Baseball Classic. And the Baseball Classic's back this year, coming up in 2026. I feel like everybody better enjoy their baseball in 2026. Me and my dad will be touching on that this year. We're going to do some. I really want to look into what's going on and why we might have a lockout, right? It's a nice sentiment, Scott, but watching this team, a lot of things went just right. Playoffs maybe, but that window slammed shut already. I don't know. Y'all played good fundamental baseball, Carlos. You keep putting the ball in play and good defense. That inning where they made 2 plays. Was it the 7th inning? Top of the 7th or top of the 8th? Vlad Guerrero diving down the line, and the center fielder diving. I do believe, though, in Game 6, was it Game 6? You have to pinch hit for Jimenez in the 7th inning. Lefty versus lefty. I would rather you pinch hit with a right-hander and make them go to bullpen for a right-hander, because a right-hander versus right-hander is better than Jimenez facing anybody. I know Jimenez had a good tournament, but a lot of that was because they kept walking the person in front of him to get to him, so he had opportunities. That bullshit where he stuck his hand out to try to get hit, I didn't blame the pitcher for hitting him on the next pitch. That was bullshit. I know you want to get on by any means, but at least roll your shoulder until you don't just stick your hand out there. I do think y'all. The problem is like I said, Carl, y'all have money, but you don't have Yankee Boston money, and the guy in Baltimore has a lot of money too. So, and then in Tampa Bay, what's up, Clay? And Tampa Bay always figures out a way to be competitive. It's the most. It's crazy to me that they can do that. Best run organization in sports, I think. Even though they don't know where to build a building to get fans in the seats. So I feel like I was real happy with the series being a baseball fan. Of course, now the all season stuff starts with all the signings and free agency, and I don't know. I don't know how deep the free agency is going to be. I know again, Pete Alonso, his uh, asking for a lot. How did the team with the biggest payroll do this season? Not very well. If we're talking about the Mets, was it Mets with the biggest payroll? I think they were. You talk to them, you listen to them, they think they had a good season. They get themselves like a B or an A. I think the Cyclones won their series in minor league baseball. I think Brett Beatty was down there playing with them for that. But yeah, I just yeah, the trifecta. Well, they had a huge collapse. I can tell you that. That was. I was sad to watch. It wasn't the worst collapse. I could be a Detroit fan and watch that collapse, like my boss at work. But then they turn around and play. To me, a collapse. As long as you get in the playoffs now, it doesn't matter if you're the first seed or the last seed. I don't think, other than you got to play at least 2 more games or 3, and they're all at whoever the home field is. It's all about making the playoffs now. If it's nice to get the bye, I guess, but it's all about getting in. I really wish they would get rid of divisions and just make 2 leagues, and just because they're going to redo them anyway. Why had to? Winning the American League East? What does that get you? Did you have to bring that up? I'm sorry, Jeff. Well, they made it in, and then they had a good run. I mean, too bad you probably won't have Skubal when the season starts. I don't know. They're going to ask for a lot in that trade, so he might be a July trade. But if you're winning, you'll probably keep him and try to win next year, right? Because then the year after that, it's going to be the lockout, and then we don't even know if we're going to have a 2027 season. And if that happens, baseball's dead. It's going to be WNBA time. So I don't know how, unless they bring steroids back, I don't know what's going to save the sport. Because, it's home run derby during a regular season. You get to the playoffs, and it's about pitching and putting balls in play, and not everybody's figured that out yet. I still don't know. The Royals showed you, I don't know how many years ago, whenever they won the World Series, how to do it. They won a series they kind of made of. There you go. There you go. So, hey, you got to make it better than the other teams that didn't make it. So, and I mean, we all knew what the Guardians was going to do when they get in there. They're made for a regular season, the long haul. It's tough for them to win a series because they can't run. They can't just score a bunch of runs whenever they need to. Winter meetings. Wow. Don't you think they're going to ask a lot for him? Like, a lot. They're not going to just give him up. So, because I don't think if they trade him, I don't think they get a compensatory draft pick. I think they would have had to trade him this past season to get the draft pick. So it ain't about the draft pick anymore. So they got to get players. I just very interested. I need to look and see at the free agency class for this year That's a big thing to talk about. And then, you know, I don't know if any other big names. It's him, Pete. I think that was another reason. Pete wants 7 years and a bunch of money, a small island, and I don't know. I mean, there's teams out there that want him. There's two, from my understanding, there's two Japanese first basemen as well coming over. And I mean, all these Asian players, it ain't one or two anymore. There's a bunch. The guy at the Giants did well this year after having a bad injury last year. So I love it. And more international. We need a bigger injection of players because they want to add two more teams. Boom. Yeah, I would never give a pitcher a 10-year deal. Never. Never, ever. It would be tough for me to give a position player that, to tell you the truth. Unless they were first contract after their rookie contract. There is a good series too. I think it's on YouTube. Like it's 3 or 4 like short vignettes or whatever of minor leaguers, and them talking about their contracts, how they get paid, how they have to live. It's kind of sad how the MLB. I did not know this, but minor league baseball players, and I don't know if the major leaguers consider this, but the minor leaguers are considered seasonal help, summertime help. That is how they get around with paying them so little. And they don't have to give them insurance year round, just during the season. I heard that and my jaw dropped. I was like, how the freakity freak can you? And I mean, most of these minor league teams now do pretty well. But come on. You're paying one guy, right? You could take what Scubal's next contract and pay a whole minor league, at least probably your whole minor league system, a living wage, right? At least these WNBA players are crying about they're only making $80,000 a year or whatever. These minor leaguers are living 4, 5, 6. One guy had a mattress in the kitchen sleeping, and they're making like $30,000 a year, for the season, and they get like a ham and cheese sandwich after the game set out for them. Yeah, you would think that you would think that at a minimum you would think the MLB players would feed their players. You would think I don't see. So a minor league roster, what, 25 players, 27 players? How do the minor league teams not have a dorm? Right there at the field, a dorm with 30 beds and cafeteria and all that stuff, weight room. I don't understand that. That should be a mandatory thing. If it's not on the field, at least have it off where it's, a shuttle bus or something. I don't really understand how they make them live that way. And they want them to be top tip condition, and they don't have the nutrients, and they don't eat. To pull their money together to get food, and it's not a good way to live. And then they're traveling and all that other stuff. It's tough. So, and then they go play. Most of them play winter ball somewhere. I mean, what are they going to do? Go work at a a store for Christmas and make money. I don't know. It's not like that anymore. They can't go home and help the family on the farm or something. I don't know what the thing. When I lived in Savannah, I followed the A-level Sand Gnats. All the players had holes in their uniforms by then. Yeah. Well, the field, they started getting better with taking care of the fields. Because I used to see a lot of the fields would look rough too. By midsummer, hot, they get burned up. So they don't have the money to side replacement and stuff like that. They also, a lot of times they paint the fields and stuff to make it look better than what it is. But, if they're not taking care of the fields, the players have to play. That was another thing. I was looking at some of the ballparks that they have to play in. They said, they're just terrible, especially in those low A. The double A fields around here, most of it, there is a triple A. It's quite a few triple A affiliates too. But the double A fields around here are not bad. And the one here in Winston-Salem, center field is like 375, but the wall is so high they have to hit it like the equivalent of 440 feet to get it out. To me, that's weird. It's just, I don't know. That's like indoor baseball. I don't really like that. MLB teams play two MLB teams play in minor league ballparks. Yeah, Tampa and the A's. And let me tell you, both teams had a better attendance. That's why I don't think you need these huge ballparks. Both of them had better attendance when they were playing at minor league ballparks consistently because it was more family friendly. All the hoopla was gone, and at Tampa it was easy to get to. The stadium they have that got tore up during the hurricane is a tough facility to get to. I joked with my dad. They said it's built on the wrong side of the bridge. They need to build it more inland so it's easier to get to by more people. Maybe they look into that later, when they go to build whatever on the next one. But, I think it touched on everything that I want to touch on tonight. Stuff I always talk about. Buying on a budget. I don't know why everybody's panicking over repacks. Just who cares? Don't buy them. I've never bought a repack. I just thought they were, I think they should expand so that Atlanta has two. They're pushing hard for one here in the Carolinas. Either Raleigh or Charlotte area. I would love for that because Charlotte I'm about 45 to 50 minutes from downtown Charlotte, and Raleigh I'm about hour 45 minutes. Raleigh's almost in between me and my dad's house, like almost perfectly in between the two. I think that's would you shift allegiance if they started a team nearby? No. So here's the thing. Washington, when the Expos moved to Washington, people always like, how do you? I had Washington clothing because me and my dad went to so many games. Washington we could go to drive 40 minutes and go to a Richmond Flying Squirrels game. Bobby would love to come to Atlanta for some Atlanta games. I feel like, so I was still a Mets fan though. So when the Mets came to town, I always went around Mets stuff. But I rooted for Washington. When I went to Washington games, I wanted to be part of it. So I rooted for Washington against whoever they were playing, right? We were going to see Harper, and I love Jason Worth when he was there. Ryan Zimmerman. So I was a Nationals fan. I just wasn't their biggest fan. I was still a Mets fan. I would do the same thing here. What I would really like for me to do is get a team here, so that's my local team, so that way it won't block the Nationals in Baltimore, and I can start watching my Orioles play again. I really miss watching my Orioles. I really like the Orioles, and I don't get to see them play that much. I get to see them play when I go home. I watch them at Dad's house in Madison. We already have an Atlanta division. It's called the National, colloquially the National League East. Gotcha. So yeah, the car. Excellent. I caught you walking by on one of my Nashville videos. Yeah, I got. So that's all I got tonight. Just wanted to, that stuff I really take to heart about the purchasing. I really want to see everybody in a good mindset when they're buying. Ain't nothing worse. It feels like you get priced out. You just got to look for other things. That's part of the hunt, man. It's hunting. We really, got to see what all's out there. There's so much being made now. That's one thing, the printing and all that stuff. They could talk about it, but us collectors, we don't care about the print numbers and all that bullshit. We just want the cards, man. Or anything else that we collect. So, be good out there. Remember, you're not alone. And then welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank y'all very much. I feel blessed. And this last month or so has been awesome. Thank you for coming along on the ride with me. And until next time, see ya.